All right, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lynetta, and I am here to give you a little bit of a background of the whole natural hair movement, if you will. I just want to take a moment and look a little bit deeper into it. I want you to think about the whole cultural and social aspect and just the history of it so that it makes more sense to you, why it's so important, not just as an expression, but as a building block for the next generations and just who we are as women of color. Before I get started, I just want to tell you why I love the lotus so much. When I think of us, I think of lotus petals, because the lotus opens up one petal at a time, and I feel like we are each a petal in this movement. And once you find your strength and confidence in who you are, your complexion, your hair, your features. Once you know that you're beautiful, and that there's nothing wrong with you, and that you can say that I am unapologetically beautiful, brown, and natural, then it just you're going to touch someone else, and they're going to begin to open up. Your daughter's going to see you, your niece is going to see you, your cousin, your sister, your friends. It gets it's contagious, and we need to feel that way about ourselves after all that we've been through. I feel like we've been through the muck, through the mud, just the way we've been viewed as women as far as our beauty is concerned. All right, so enough of that. Let's get started. So I want to take it all the way back to the continent of Africa, and when we first were brought here, not, because we wanted to come, but that's just the way it went down. Before we came, hair was already a really big thing, and with our hair, so much it was expressed. We already loved elaborate styles. We already loved to wear jewelry and express ourselves. And sometimes these styles had meaning. It could be a sign for wealth or debt. It could be a marital status. It could be about fertility. It could be about your social rank. It could be about your geographical origin. So all these different things that hair mean. Now, these particular pictures may not indicate those exact things. I'm just showing you these to give you an idea of how much our hair has always been important to us, how we've always adorned ourselves and taken care of ourselves and found beauty in self-expression. Very important part is that there is a spiritual significance to the way that we wear our hair. The hair is believed to be the most elevated part of the body, meaning the closest to spirit, the closest to God. So it also connected us to the powers of the Creator and the universe. So to take that away, or to say what we can and can't do with it, or to say that it's not beautiful and it's not acceptable, or it's a problem already, that's not only going to affect us mentally, but it's also going to affect us spiritually. Now, when the slave trade began, of course, a long journey like that, some of us can't even go a day without worrying about our hair or our hairstyle getting messed up. So imagine a journey, so long, months at a time, what your hair would look like, or how matted it would be, how dirty it would be. A lot of times they just shear the women, I believe, and the men also, like animals. Sometimes before they left the continent, sometimes when they got here. But nevertheless, the most important part is, by doing that, not only were they cutting us off from ourselves, who we were, our culture, our connection, our ability to recognize each other, but also it created a sense of emptiness, a sense of shame, a sense of loss. I think it really affected our identity. So from then, the hair was already beginning to be looked down upon, frowned upon. So that was with slavery. And then once we got free, there were some places like Louisiana that had the Tignon law, where even if you are a free woman of color, you cannot show your hair in public. You could not show your hair in public. You had to keep it covered. This was an actual law. It was believed that a lot of the women of of color who had these beautiful, elaborate hairstyles drew too much attention to themselves from, white men. And it was looked at more of a distraction. So, had to wear the head cover. Now, let's talk about the power of, more than 245 years of being told your hair is not acceptable, your skin is not acceptable, your features are unacceptable. There's nothing about you that's good enough. There's nothing about you that's beautiful. Of course, over time, that is definitely going to take a toll on you. It's going to have an effect on you. So, but it did not necessarily happen overnight. You're talking about generations going back before your great-great-grandmother, that these words, these powerful words were planted in the subconscious mind. No matter how strong you are, after hearing that for generations, it begins to become somewhat of a truth. You begin to believe like, oh wow, my hair is not good enough. Oh, this shade of brown is not good. My features are too big. There is nothing beautiful. I'm really not beautiful. Let me hang my head low. Let me have shame. Let me try and change something. What can I do to be more beautiful? What can I do to be more acceptable? So they begin to take advantage of this and begin to market heavily to women of color, particularly black women, people, descendants of slaves, to encourage us to change our appearance. I look back at some old ads and really, can't believe some of the expressions or the words. Like, for instance, this ad here says race men and women can easily have straight, soft, long hair simply by applying Plough's hairdressing. In a short time, all your kinky, snarly, ugly, curly hair becomes soft, silky, smooth, and straight. I'm not even going to keep on reading, because right there, that is enough to let you know how we were viewed and how we were made to view ourselves. How the pictures like this were meant to shame us, to say, why would you want to look like this when you can look like this? Even more powerful is when they talk about changing the hair. Not only changing the hair, but changing the skin also. And it's saying that this imperial whitener and electrical hair restorative can change the way that you look, or that we look, for $2. To me, this ad is very powerful. It's pretty much saying you need to be the opposite of what you are in order to be beautiful. And once again, here it is, the hair and the skin being encouraged to bleach and to straighten in order to be beautiful. Now, a lot of people feel like we're past this, or that we've moved on. But I have to say that I disagree, that we, are still there in many ways. And because of that, we are the top consumer of cosmetic products that alter the natural appearance. It's one thing if you're doing something for the health of it, but I'm talking about products that will change the way you look. Black women make up 7% of the population, but purchase over 80% of the hair care products. And that's nothing wrong with purchasing it. The problem is that we're purchasing products that can harm us and that can change and alter our appearance. When I went searching for modern day advertisement, I found things like this to show that we are still being encouraged, just like the old pictures, just with a modern twist, to change our hair, to change our eyes, to lighten our skin in order to be considered beautiful. Now that's powerful. Even still, after all this time, when everybody's like, I'm black and I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm that, I'm so proud of who I am, we're still being infiltrated as a people, and there are still people that are bleaching their skin. Some of these pictures you have to question whether they're even real with the before and after, but it's just about the power of the subconscious mind and how deep it is, how we've been conditioned to think that we really do need to lighten our skin, and we really do need to straighten our hair, and that's the only way that you will ever be considered beautiful, and you will ever be acceptable. And this starts from a young age. I've had so many women sit in my chair and talk about, how we all used to put the towel on our head for long hair, or everybody wanted to have the hair like the white girl in the front of the classroom, or just kind of want to be the opposite of what you are. So you see here, this is another advertisement from the same site, and the company is claiming that this bleaching cream is organic. I highly doubt that it's organic, but nevertheless, that's what they're saying. And they got everything. Whether you can even bleach your genitals. You can bleach your knuckles, your elbows. You can give it a suntan, whatever it is. And if you notice all the models that they have here, none of them, have any textured hair or have a deep brown complexion. This is what they advertise to us as beautiful, and it's not just hitting us through ads like this, but I mean, you can, whether it's TV, the newspaper, not newspaper, but magazines, social media. This is what we see, and it's also what the young girls see. Now, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with a weave, right? I've had a few in my day, and I still have clients who get weaves also. The problem is not the weave. The problem is when you feel that you cannot be seen without it. I have some clients who wore weaves for decades because they did not want to be seen by their family, their husband, their children, no one without their weave. They did not feel beautiful, and they were not comfortable with the way that they looked without it. That's when it's a problem. That's when it becomes unhealthy. Look at, our social media influence, these beautiful black women, and you wonder, why would you want to change, after so many people have already told you how beautiful you are and how much, you're admired. This lets us know how powerful the pressures of society, the social norms, and the ideal image of beauty is. And if you have the money to do it, sometimes you'll do more than the average Joe. So I said all that to say, even though we've come far and we're all talking about the natural hair movement and how proud we are of each other, we still have a long way to go. We still have a lot to educate our young girls on, and even our grandmothers. Some of our grandmothers still cannot get with the natural. It's just not beautiful. Like, it's even deeper in their mind about, looking unkept or not being acceptable, or not being presentable. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. And I believe it's up to us to take it to the next level and to understand the mind control that's happening. More importantly are the chemicals. Are these chemicals harming us? Of course they are. Of course they are. Look at this. This is, black women suing a hair relaxer company. Everybody, if you've had a relaxer, you've probably had a burn or two before, right? And you want those edges straight, you've probably had them burned out, over time as well. But all of that's a chemical, and if it's on your skin, it's going into your body. So it's affecting our overall well-being, not just our outward appearance, but how our body functions, how our organs function. The glue, it's still toxic. The relaxer is still toxic. And some of, it can be from a poor diet or hereditary or habitary, but a lot of it is from the chemicals that we use in the products. Recently, there was a study done that showed how black hair products were filled with toxic chemicals linked to disease. What's really messed up is that they found the chemicals in these products to be linked to cancer, weight gain, asthma, fertility issues, and many other things. And this research was done by Silent Springs Institute. If you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend that you take a moment and go read it, because it affects you. And I'm sure at least one of those products on there you have used on yourself, your child, or somebody that uses it. What's really hurtful is that the most toxic chemicals or the most toxic products were the ones for little girls, particularly the PCJ relaxer. It's almost like before you even get a chance to become a woman, the chemicals are put in your body that will affect your fertility, that can affect your overall health, that can have more carcinogens and lead to cancer at an earlier or higher rate. Not to mention that 84% of the chemicals detected in some of the products were not listed on the product label, and that 11 of those products contained 7 chemicals prohibited by the EU and under California's Proposition 65. So it is clear that by reading the labels is not enough because you don't know what's in it. 84% is high. So if we don't know, we have to definitely be more wise and more conscious about the products that we use and how we choose or decide to use them. This right here is a short list of some of the products that were tested. And I'm just going to mention a few things. Like we all remember Luster's Pink, Classic Light Oil Moisturizing Hair Lotion. B&B Super Grow. Remember that? Fabulaxer. Oh, wait a minute. How about Queen Helene Cholesterol Hair Conditioning Cream? Right? Everybody wanted that cholesterol treatment. Or how about the little glass tubes, the little plastic tubes we used to do with our hot oil treatments or the placenta treatments? All that. So many things. Even Dax pomade. And, you would think, well, dag, what could be in there? But it's so many things that we're unaware of, and it's causing harm to our overall health. Now, after, there is a movement going on, and it's a movement coming out of the UK, and it's about changing the facts and not the fro. I think we do need to make changes about the products that we use. We need to make changes about how we feel, how about, going to work or being seen in public. Just all around to change the whole outlook of natural hair. From their research, they found that only 27% of black women feel comfortable wearing dreads to a professional event. They found that 1 in 5 black women feel social pressure to straighten their hair for work. They found only 37% of black women feel comfortable wearing an afro or dreads to a professional event, and 78% of people instinctively prefer smooth hair. That's a lot. And the question is, where do we go from here? Let's talk about it. Like, you may be comfortable with your natural, but think about that process. Think about how many times you may have backslid. Think about how many times, you had to start all over, or, you had a breakdown and you went back and relaxed your hair, or, you just decided, what, I can't handle it. I can't do it. Give me my relaxer back. Or, I need to do something different. This isn't working for me. It's no joke. It's hard because it's as if you're getting to know yourself or getting to know a texture of hair that you never knew, and you have to learn how to work with it. You have to learn how to make it look on you, how to make it feel like you, so that you feel like yourself and you feel acceptable to society. But the most important thing is you have to make sure that you are not doing things or putting products in your hair that are harming your body. Just for hair, skin, and nails sake, just for your hair, skin, and nails to be acceptable by society, right? Don't compromise your health and your longevity for something, that's going to fade anyway. There's a healthier way to do it. I think that it's time for us to get focused and stop looking for answers in advertisement and from paid social media influencers. You have to be more aware. Don't let people decide for you what you're going to use. And don't let them think that it's going to make such a drastic or change for you that you're willing to harm yourself. Put your overall health first. Because when you say you want beautiful hair, when you say you want clear skin and healthy nails, all of that is starting from the inside out. Which means more work, of course. I know sometimes we just want to take something and put it on and be done with it. But it doesn't work that way. You're going to have to go within. You're going to have to start with what you put in your body. You're going to have to focus on yourself. Listen to your body. You will know when something is good for you and when something isn't good for you. Now, everything that we need for healthy hair, skin, and nails has already been provided for us in nature. And the beautiful thing about it is that because it's natural, your body recognizes it. Your body knows what to do with it. All these synthetic, harmful chemicals, it doesn't know what to do. And it ends up causing things like weight gain, cancer, hair loss, amongst a host of other things. So first of all, the top 10 things nature provides. All right. And if we focus on what nature provides, we not only get the results that we want, but we also eliminate some of the sickness. Number one, water. Simple, plain, old-fashioned water. Brightens eyes, tones skin, tightens skin, grows healthy hair, shiny hair. We should all be trying to drink 25 to 50 ounces of water, based on 25 to 50% of our body weight in ounces of water every day. All right. Aloe vera juice. Yeah, we can put aloe vera in our hair, but to drink the aloe vera juice is actually going to give you what you need and actually give the hair the strength and the nutrients that it needs before it even begins to come out of the scalp. Collagen, bone broth. A lot of us grew up with grandmothers making soups and stews and using every part. I mean, they didn't throw anything away, not even the bone, because they understood the nutrients that was stored inside the marrow. And they would cook the broth and they would cook the stew. If you got sick, they're like, this is what you need. It's going to heal your body. Well, guess what? Not only is it good for your body, but it is also good if you want healthy hair, skin, and nails. You need this. The B complex. A lot of my clients have been focusing on just biotin, but let me tell you something. If you need biotin, you probably are lacking in some other B vitamins, especially if you're a vegan. I know when I was a vegan, my B12, B6, B3 really suffered because it's hard to get these complex B vitamins on certain diets. So I want you to think about your overall health, not just the biotin for your hair, skin, and nails, but I need you to have balance and I need you to be healthy overall. So get a B complex, not just a B7. Rosemary essential oil. This right here, it helps to stop balding and thinning, and it strengthens and thickens the hair. So you can use this, you can dilute it in other oils, but look how simple that is. That's something that's found right in nature. Another thing is the omega-3s. You can find that in flaxseed, fish oil, cod liver oil. And I'm not talking about putting it on your hair from the outside. I'm talking about taking it in. I remember growing up, I remember my mother or my grandmother, they would line me, my brothers and cousins up, and we would have to take cod liver oil, It was just a given, whether you liked it or not. Like, they knew what they were doing. They understood what the body needed and how important it was. And some of these ways we have to get back to. And it's nasty. Yes, I know it is. Mix it up with something. Have a chaser ready. But the power of it, it's worth it. We want to kind of bypass this and we try to just find things to put on the outside. But I'm telling you, what you put on the inside will always be more powerful and outweigh whatever you do from the outside or do topically. Another thing would be the Celtic sea salt. I love this because it does not raise your blood pressure and it's filled with vitamins and minerals. Well, not really vitamins, but minerals. The minerals is what we focus on here. There are so many trace minerals that we're missing or that we're lacking simply because it's not in the soil, so it's not getting in our food. But a lot of that we can get through this sea salt. So get rid of your Lawry's, get rid of your soul seasoning, and replace it with this. Get rid of your table salt and replace it with this. And it not only does it help your body, but it also tastes better. Jojoba oil and grapeseed oil. These are great oils that are not only good for strengthening the hair, but it's also good for the skin. beautiful skin, moisturized skin without all the perfumes and the fragrances and the toxic chemicals that come in some of our favorite products that we would normally get from the store. Sage essential oil is another one that definitely promotes growth. You can take these essential oils and mix them with the jojoba or the grapeseed oil. It doesn't take a lot of them because they are so powerful. Like, there's so much in one drop. This is not something that you are going to like put directly on your scalp. You're definitely going to dilute it. Another great oil is the cedarwood essential oil. It also promotes growth. And you can always rub those oils on your cuticles, right? If you're concerned about your nail health. Now let's talk about the foods to avoid, right? It's the processed foods. I know it sounds crazy, but this also affects your hair, your skin, and your nails. There's no way around it. What you put in is what's going to show up on the outside, right? And if there's a lot of ingredients in what you eat that the body can't recognize, can't identify, doesn't know what to do with, you're going to be in bad shape. And I'm not even talking about from a health perspective. I'm just talking about as far as getting the results that you want to see on the outside. We want to stay away from so much bread, so much pasta, the desserts. All this affects your hair because your body operates as a whole. You can't separate the hair or the skin or the nails and say, I'm just going to focus on that and get this healthy and beautiful. You're going to have to focus on that whole body so that everything can be in alignment and everything can be healthy and beautiful. The body is a whole. You can't break it into pieces. Everything, it affects, something else. One thing affects another. Everything is connected. All right, ladies, last thing I want to say is that World Afro Day. So they did create World Afro Day in the UK, and it's the 15th of September. I just thought that was really cool and an awesome way to unite. So, they also have the Big Hair Assembly in September, and they're really trying to go to different schools. There's a lot of schools and places in the world where if you have natural hair, you cannot attend. Or you could be sent home, or it's just not socially acceptable. So I think that they have an amazing movement that's worth taking a look at, but also to be mindful of what they've created, the World Afro Day. So I hope that you learned something here. If you have any questions for me, if there's anything else you want me to talk about, anything you want me to go more in depth on, let me know. And the main thing I want you to take away from this is to find peace within yourself and to create your own image of beauty, and never allow someone to make you feel like what you have is not good enough or not beautiful enough, and so much to the point to where you begin to harm yourself, or that you will be willing to use products that are detrimental to you, your children, or your loved ones. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Peace.